What's going on, guys? We have a lot to cover, man. We've got a Preston Stewart video, so you already know it's going to be rad. Inside the fight for Donetsk, battlefield updates from Pokrovsk sector. We're seeing a lot of focus in Pokrovsk again. What I guess it really hasn't stopped, but now the attention is more on it, or the attention is back on it. So, first and foremost, most importantly, please check out my Goodwill T-shirt find. It says three wise men, three random dudes on it. Rocking the old Christmas tea, middle of June. How about them apples? Anyways, it was like less than $1, dude. Can't beat it. I'm gonna wear this thing everywhere. Um, with that said, actually, that's a good segue. We have our you guys have just been buying the heck out of this thing, which is so cool to me. We have our ORC SHASHLIK T-shirt. Let me put it in white so you can see. We have white and black options. This is the different breed merch website. Link is in the description. But this month we're doing this ORC SHASHLIK shirt. So on the front, Slav Ukraine, rep Ukraine in your hometown. On the sleeve, you got different breed, little channel plug there, and then on the back, most importantly, you got shashlik is barbecue. So this is a play on I guess Ukrainian word and Russian word barbecue. You got the orc with the Z helmet on the barbecue shish kebab sword thing. Orc shashlik, dude, it's so rad. And you guys have, like I said, already been picking it up. And I know some of them are going to be delivered soon, so please, when you get them, take a picture, send it to me in Discord, post it in Discord, send it to me on Instagram. I don't care, but I want to see you. You don't have to post your face or whatever if you don't want to, but I want to see you guys rocking this T-shirt because I think that's so cool. Anyways, if you want one, pick it up in the description. We'll be doing this for the next couple of weeks at least, until next month. And then I've got another idea, something about possibly a flamingo. Hint, hint. Little spoiler, a flamingo. Anyways, let's jump into that's my lo-fi music I listen when I'm working. Let's jump into this Preston Stewart video and see what's going on here. Obviously, please go like, share, subscribe to P Money. He's the GOAT. Let's go.
So I've seen a lot of questions recently asking about Pokrovsk. What's going on in that direction? What are the changes? So I thought, what better way to get an update than to ask the Ukrainian unit responsible for that area of the front?
Woo!
Today, we're joined by Colonel Vladimir Polevy, the head of communications for the 7th Rapid Response Corps of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. Again, the unit responsible for holding this incredibly volatile sector of the front. Now, Pokrovsk remains one of the hottest sectors all across Ukraine. This is an area of focus for the Russian military for well over a year now, and while they are slowly advancing, it's coming at a shocking cost of men and equipment. Now, Colonel Polevy and I get into where things stand today, how Russian tactics have evolved in the Pokrovsk direction, and what's needed to fully stop their infiltration tactics. Now, you can keep up with the 7th Corps at the links in the description below, and with that, let's get to the conversation. Colonel, thank you so much for taking...
Before we jump into it, I just wanted to say something that I respect a lot about most Ukrainian commanders is in a lot of cases, not all the cases, but in a lot of cases, these guys started as grunts. Usually some kind of a rifleman, infantryman, holding a trench, fighting in Donetsk back in 2014, and they've worked their way up through the ranks to become a commander. And so to me, that's really, really cool. And you don't see that as often in Western militaries just because there haven't been a ton of like real kinetic wars. Of course, there's GWA era, and unless you were like special forces operator or marine or something, you most likely didn't see combat. So, but still, a ton of respect, obviously, U.S. military and U.S. military commanders. But I just mean that's a difference that I notice is these guys are like hardened combat vets who have literally worked their way from grunt to general or commander or colonel or whatever.
The time today, there's been a lot of activity in the Pokrovsk direction for a few years now, and I understand that's where some of your forces are heavily engaged. So I was just hoping we could start out with what's happening in that direction right now.
The Pokrovsk direction remains the main axis of effort for the Russians. From 1/4 to 1/3 part of all attack alongside the front line take place here.
Wow.
And the enemy political goal is to occupy the whole Donetsk region, and it hasn't changed. In this regard, they are trying to break through our defense lines on the north from Prokhorovsk, and the main axis and the zone of responsibility of the 7th Corps is Grishina direction alongside the Grishinka River. They are infiltrating here by the forces of the 3 Regiment of the 76th Airborne Division and by the detachments of the 30th Brigade. It might sound strange, but strange for you, but on the ground there are only approximately 100 soldiers movements on the line of engagements at the same day, on the Y day. They are coordinating movement with recon and strike drones and artillery support. So as a conclusion, 10,000 men can afford only 1% of their personnel on the line of engagement in this war. The depth of the support depends mainly on the locations of the drone launch points. The range of kill zone is approximately 20 kilometers right now.
Wow.
20 kilometers is a long ways, and that's changed since you guys first started operating in Pokrovsk, hasn't it?
Yes, the range depends depends on the technical conditions of the drones from both sides. And as I said, we count this kill zone from the drone launch point. So it depends on where these points are located from our sides and from the enemy sides. For example, if our points is located here we have 20 kilometers, but Russian points can be located right here. So the kill zone will be in the depths and will be located like this.
So different ranges on each side, sort of.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Russian 76th Airborne. I don't know much about that unit, but we tend to think that airborne units are a little more well trained, maybe somewhat elite. Is that the case with the 76th Airborne?
Absolutely, it's true for the 76th Airborne Division, and we must understand that their main task is attack and maneuver, not the defense. And that is why it is the sign that Pokrovsk direction is the main axis of effort of the enemy.
Right. It's where they put their assault units, right? So if their assault units are there, they're gonna try to push there, or they're actively pushing there. It's similar to like when Russian drone team Rubicon is in a specific AO. That draws a lot of Ukrainian attention because Rubicon has statistically been in every hot zone. They're always in like the most important locations.
Would you be able to talk a little bit about the infiltration tactics that we've seen used? Just what problem does that create for the 7th Corps specifically?
To understand this, we must realize what a line on defense in Ukraine looks like. First of all, it consists, as I said previously, from the drone launch points and isolated strong points and observation points that protect these launch points and our logistics. As a rule, strong points are coordinated through a headquarters, through the high commander, rather than directly with each other. These positions are located on solid ground defense lines, which consist of deep anti-tank ditches, barbed wire fences, concrete obstacles, and mines. All the
It's something that I think is slept on a lot, not realized, is how effective just digging deep trenches, these big anti-tank trenches are, because infantry get literally stuck in them. We had a unit last summer, our guys, who got stuck in one of these trenches because they're anywhere from like 6 to 8 feet high on the sides, and it's just dirt. So it's I don't know if you've tried, but it's really hard to scale something like that, especially in full kit, especially after X amount of miles or kilometers that you've already infilled or exfilled. And we've seen countless Russians that get trapped in these places, and the drone teams just have a field day, like shooting fish in a barrel.
defender
But it's just funny, 2026, and one of the best defenses that you can make is dig deep hole.
positions are hired from enemy recon and invisible from the air. The Russians are adapting to the new conditions. A fast, unexpected breakthrough of armored vehicles is impossible right now in current conditions. So they use an infantryman which must overcome all of these obstacles in order to block our logistics, first to our strong points and then to the drone launch points. To do this, scouts, subversion groups find gaps in our defense lines. They try to infiltrate as far into the rear as possible, relying on aerial logistics and drone recon. Next group have the task to hold the advanced positions and organize ground logistic by foot. This allows them to set up launch sites, drone launch points behind them. This tactic requires a massive advantage in infantry because every day we kill or wounded approximately 60% of all spotted infantrymen.
Wow.
From these 100 men, which I mentioned before. And yet the Russians keep moving forward, even with this level of losses on the line of engagement. This is possible partly because the soldiers are already separated at their deployment points. They act in isolation and do not see the whole picture.
So they just sort of move from one point to the next, maybe not even knowing the mission. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, they know only their task, which could be explained like you just go to this building and you must organize to hide in this building or in the basement, for example. And they don't even know the intent of their commander or the task of the platoon, for example, because they received the command, the task only for this small group of 2 or 3 persons.
That's hard to understand. I understand what you're saying, but it's hard to imagine a military operating like that. We saw in the winter months how important fog and cloud cover was to offensive operations, that bad weather meant good conditions to move on the ground. It seems like the Russians are moving every day. Are they not waiting for good conditions?
I'll share a little story with you guys real quick because you guys know Pastor. We've had him on the channel multiple times. One of my good buddies. Um, I was. It was my last mission in Donbass this last summer, and we were on a position for about 11 days in this little village, and finally it was the day to Xville, and everybody's tired, man. After 11 days, like on position on the front, you're out of food, you're dangerously low on water, um, you're exhausted, right? Anyways, you basically wait until you have favorable weather to try to Xville because it's the only kind of foolproof strategy that you have to hide from drones. Nothing else is there, with the exception of taking random lucky pop shots and maybe hitting it while it's buzzing straight at you. Um, so I was in a little group with Pastor and our other buddy, call sign Christian. So his call sign's Christian. I'm with Pastor. I'm with two religious guys, and I wouldn't say I'm extremely religious myself, but I'm a believer. I'm a believer in a higher power for sure. And basically, I was more of a believer after this mission because we knew that there was a long walk out, and part of that walk was through this valley with zero cover. And on our way in, Pastor and I almost got smoked by an FPV, fiber optic FPV, on the way in that same area. So we were stressing about this coming through this little zone here. So they pray, and they're praying on it, right? And right as we step off to go out, and we're about to hit this valley, it starts raining, and the cloud cover gets heavier, and I'm like, this is divine intervention, dude. These guys just did this. These guys, my religious comrades just brought the weather so we have a safe walk out. It was pretty incredible, man. Honestly, I was like, I remember walking, and I was like, it was started raining on me, and I'm like doing one of these things as we're walking. I'm like, this is incredible. Wow. It's such a good feeling.
The whole Russian tactics have been adapted for the changes on the ground. And sometimes when they are in the status of offensive, they are trying to move every day despite of the weather conditions. And I can explain some more words about these changes in tactics if you are interested in.
Absolutely. It's again, it's hard to understand some of this because if it's broad daylight out and the drones are flying, you would think don't go because you're just going to die, but they're still going even in those conditions.
Yes, because they rely on their drone strikes and artillery strikes. They rely on their reconnaissance and superiority in all of these fire power, and that is. And the infantryman is only on the spear of this line of a fort. Mm-hmm. And that is why they try to realize their superiority at every weather conditions. But the tactic has changed. First and foremost, there has been a significant reduction in the size of these assault groups. Whereas Russian forces previously operated in the squad formations, now they rely on small groups of 2 or 3 soldiers moving in a dispersed manner to reduce their vulnerability to Ukrainian artillery and drone strikes. Another notable changes is the disappearance of heavy armored vehicles as a direct support means on the battlefield. Due to the substantial losses of tanks and infantry fighting vehicles, Russian forces are using heavy equipment much less now. Instead, relying on infantry and light vehicles like bicycles, for example, just to cross this kill zone as quick as it possible. At the same time, the role of unmanned aerial system has grown dramatically for both sides. UAVs have significantly shaped battlefield tactics on both sides.
That's true.
With the infiltration, we've seen that can be a challenge for some time now. What would be needed for, say, the 7th Corps to fully stop those infiltrations? Is it more troops? Is it more drones? Is it different types of munitions? In your mind, what would be needed to stop that tactic?
Thank you for these questions. It is
He's obviously in eastern Ukraine, right? And I'm sure they don't get great signal out there. So, I mean, like, signal. So, give him a break on the choppy video.
complex problem how to stop this Russian advance. And first of all, we need a lot of
and he's probably underground.
Recon information from the all level, from the tactical, operational, and strategic level. For example, if we can start from the space, we need a lot of space reconnaissance information. Then we need, for example, AWACS, yes, planes to have all picture in radio spectrum. Then we need radio reconnaissance means, a lot of them, to have a full operational awareness. And after that, we need a lot of tactical level video reconnaissance drone. We use for this task Mavics. As you know, it's a quite cheap Chinese drone, but we need a lot of ersatz Mavics instead these Chinese productions. For example, we have perfect Ukrainian Gore reconnaissance Win drone system, not a quadrocopter, but a Win. Yes, Win plane, which could replace a lot of Mavic. So, for example, one Gore can replace approximately 10 Mavic.
Wow.
And we suffered a lot from the losses of this tactical reconnaissance drone. And that is why we need the one system for coordination all of these kind of activities. And we have such a possibility, such a capabilities. We have our Delta
Wing
information system.
Oh, Delta.
Which provide us a lot of situational awareness.
Delta's like Crepiva, or there's a version in the US, and you guys always remind me in the comments. You got to remind me again. It's like Mill Chat, maybe. I don't remember, but it's a online network of like a Google Maps, for example, but for the battlefield. And if you have access to it, you can edit it And when you edit it, the other people who have access to it can see it as well. So, for example, if you have a team who runs into a land or a minefield, they can realize it, reroute, and then they can mark on Delta. You can mark it with different symbols and stuff. Landmine here, reroute this direction where it's clear for landmines. It's there's equivalents in the West, but it's really intuitive system, and I can say without a doubt I would have been lost multiple times without it. In fact, I got lost with it. That's how confusing it could be out there.
After that, we need depths in our strikes. I'm talking about the so-called middle strike, or at least strikes on the depth of 100 kilometers from the line of engagement, because 7th Corps is a tactical detachment, tactical level detachment. So we need to increase our depths of strikes thanks to some kinds of weaponry, like these middle strike drones, or it could be a HIMARS MLRC with this 200 kilometers range missiles, for example, or Ukrainian missile systems. If you allow me to imagine, just to try
Yeah.
to imagine, we need a lot of ballistic missiles, which could provide a strike on the depth approximately on 300 kilometers, which could isolate the whole operational zone, for example, in Pokrovsk region. We need a lot of tactical aviation capabilities. We need to improve our capabilities of air-to-air missile system. For example, maybe you have heard about the supplies of the Gripens jets with Meteor air-to-air missiles. But it's only the plans. We need them for yesterday, not even for today.
Mm-hmm.
And after all of this, we need a lot of, for example, Bradleys as infantry armored vehicles, which are really perfect on the battlefield when we need to organize some maneuver or some offensive, or because the main task of air assault forces of 7th Corps is to attack too. And after that, last but not the least, is a personnel. We need a lot of professionals, a lot of pilots, a lot of programmers, a lot of mechanics, a lot of other specialties, and a lot of assault troops on the ground too, of course.
Well, I won't bore you with American politics, but
wonder if they're taking foreigners. I'll look into it.
But it looks like there's more support brewing in the U.S. So hopefully some of that.
It doesn't look boring. It's
boring here. It's exhausting here. You have more important things to worry about. But hopefully it signals a change to where some of those munitions can start arriving more frequently.
We believe in this, and we believe in support of Europe, not only the United States. And fortunately, we were built. We have built these communications before the Trump elections take place.
The Trumper. There's a lot of people here and around the world, of course, that support you guys and want to do what we can. A kind of a final question here. Pokrovsk has been the focus, seemingly, of Russian operations for a while. Do you expect that's going to change anytime soon?
I think it is the base, the best place to break through our defense lines from the Russians' points of view, because of the geographical factor, because of the logistics factor, because of their political goals factor. And that is why I think they will try to break through somewhere in the Pokrovsk directions for 100%. But if they succeed, if they have another result, for example, on the south direction or somewhere on the north, they will replace their force to this another direction.
Excellent. It's well, excellent in terms of thank you for sharing that information. This was really valuable, Colonel. Thank you so much for sharing this, and we'll have everything in the description where folks can follow the unit, can donate to the unit if interested. And yeah, thank you again very much for taking your time, sir.
Glory to Ukraine.
All right, so thank you so much to Colonel Pilevi for taking the time to walk through all that. It's a fine line these guys have to walk between, he's a pro, right? But being able to share relevant current information without giving away any operational security in the middle of a very, very active war. I mean, arguably what's happening in Pokrovsk right now is the most kinetic piece of terrain in the entire world. So the colonel has to be very careful about what he can and can't share while still doing everything possible to make sure that you and I and the world really understand the nature of this conflict. So incredibly grateful that he took the time and was able to do this today. But that's all we got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.
Nice. So obviously check out Preston's channel. And if I go, I'll try to find the 7th Corps information in Preston's description and put it in this description as well. Just if you guys want to help or check them out more. But this chevron is everywhere in Ukraine, everywhere. I saw it in Donbass, stickers posted up, flags. I mean, these guys are extremely active and effective on the battlefield. So I would love to learn more about them. I'm going to check out these links as well. Super cool stuff though, man. Like getting information directly from a high level military official like this is invaluable. These are the guys that I'm hoping the United States is trying to connect with and learn from, just to prepare the United States military and learn about modern warfare, specifically peer-to-peer fights, right? Not fighting the Taliban or the Houthis or Hezbollah or ISIS or Hamas, but a well-organized, well-equipped, well-funded military like the Russian Federation. So really cool. Check these guys out, man. Links in description. Also, if you want to check out the t-shirts, link in description. Discord, link in description. That's all I got. More videos coming today. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next video.